twig and berries hanging full out, and just turns straight around and goes and just shakes his head. And what can you do? You know? Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded from a bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I like bathrooms. Merry Christmas, everybody. I wanted to just kind of kick off this episode. I'm going to give you my top 10 Christmas snacks here. I know you've been waiting, and I promise we'll get to the bathrooming, but Merry Christmas. So my top 10 Christmas snacks. I want to kick this off, try to keep it lighthearted. We're just trying to stay calm and cool and just we're really just trying to vibe and have a relaxing Christmas here at Privy. And so my top 10 holiday snacks, number 1 here, and this is going to be frustrating for some people, but probably not, is Divinity. Now, if you've never had Divinity, it's like special marshmallows. I'm pretty sure it's just whipped egg whites. And as I understand it, you have to let the Divinity kind of set in such a way where it's both fudge-like and has this like consistency that you've been chewing on something almost too long. And so Divinity is by far for me a number 1. Number 2, you would think it would be a Christmas cookie. But the problem with the Christmas cookie is they're overdone and there's too much variation. And really, the good Christmas cookie is all about the right shape. And so if you get a shape that has too many pieces that are going to be busting off, that's not a high quality Christmas cookie. What you really want to get in a good Christmas cookie is you want something that's got a lot of girth at the bottom of it. Really like built like a pear. You know what I'm saying? Really got like an apple bottom to it. And that's the type of Christmas cookie that you really want to vibe with. But my number 2 pick here is traditional fudge without nuts. Now, for those who put chopped walnuts in their fudge, that's fine. Now my mom used to put chopped walnuts in some of the fudge, and it wasn't that it was bad, but there's something about fudge that it's kind of brown and smooth that it's just right. And now the flavored fudge is a different game. Now I know that there's people that are making like peppermint bark fudge, and it's pretty good, but like I'm really just a fan of traditional chocolate fudge. It's real nice, and it just kind of, I don't know, there's something about eating like 3 to 5 pieces of chocolate fudge and then having a canker sore because your mouth reacts to the amount of sugar and chocolate you just tried to put in it. Or maybe that's just me. But that's my number 2. My number 3 pick here. And this one's going to be like, I know I keep saying it, but you're going to be, oh, that's not a Christmas treat. So number 3, and this one's going to be frustrating to some, but it's not really, but it's Chex Mix, like just traditional Chex Mix with almost too many of those strange like rye chip pieces. Those are it. Like if you get a plate full of Christmas goodies and they're like, oops, all rye chips, you've done it right. Like you're okay with that every single time. Like nobody's mad when they're getting oops, all rye chips. That's all I'm going to say about that. And the other thing about Chex Mix is they have cheddar. They have that salt and pepper black bag. I think it's just called Bold. But there's variety, and it mixes up what is otherwise a pretty sweet palette of treat. Finally, we're almost halfway through this list. Number 4, the Christmas cheer is in full swing. But number 4 on the list, and this is where I introduce like what could possibly. What?
Hey! Are you in here, Hunter?
Oh, hello?
Hello? Where are you? I know you're in here.
Oh my gosh, it's Santa.
I am mad. I am so upset. Why did you put X-Lax in my cookies?
Oh my gosh.
I had to change my pants the very moment I ate those cookies. Can you believe this? Those kids of yours, if I would have known that they put that in there, would have made me... I wouldn't have eaten them. Mrs. Claus Had to change my suit. I had to get an elf to bring me a whole new suit. Do you know what happened to my sleigh and the reindeer? They were, oh my goodness. I don't even.
Wait.
We had to have counseling for the reindeer. They had to have counseling because there was so much flow coming through.
Wait, Santa. What? I didn't put any X-Lax in your cookies.
You?
I didn't.
Well, who did? It wasn't you.
I may have told every child to do it, but
why would you tell them to do that? Why? What are you trying to do? You trying to catch me? You can't catch me. I'm Santa.
Yeah, and I didn't hear any reports that anyone caught you, so it's
exactly. All I did was poop myself all night and used every bathroom. One, I need to apologize to the Johnsons. I'm sorry about your bathroom and the way that it smelled and looked afterward. I'll send you a cleaning lady to come to your house. I hope that helped.
Hot.
But still, it made for a very long night. Let's say that. The elves have nightmares of dingleberries that they had to pick out.
Oh, gosh. Wait, why were you having the elves pick out your dingleberries, Santa?
Because Mrs. Claus sure wasn't going to.
I feel like...
And they're small. Those tiny little hands could grab them and get them.
Oh, my goodness. And
several of them. They're going to have a lifelong time of counseling after what they've seen down there.
And you've actually answered one question, which is, does Santa have an excessive amount of hair in the canyon? So
of course I do. I'm Santa. I'm a man. I have hair everywhere. That should be obvious.
Fair enough.
I'm not one of those little snowflakes that shaves everything and thinks they're all cool because they shave their everything.
Could you have an elf shave it, though?
I can't reach back there. Who else is going to shave it? Mrs. Claus ain't going to do it. She already said no. I asked her several times.
Mrs. Claus seems unwilling to help you. And
in that area, yes.
It sounds like, I'm glad that we can all agree that you should be mad at Mrs. Claus and not me.
I didn't say I was mad at Mrs. Claus. I love her very much, and she does lots for me. Except for shave, which, I mean, I don't blame her. But that's why we have little helpers all over the place.
She likes the fur.
She does. Well, rubs her hands all up in it.
Santa, I think, it was all in good fun. I really was just...
Fun for who?
Well, I mean, for me, now that I know that you did Chaz yourself royal...
that's one way to put it, yes.
Wait, you went to the bathroom inside the sleigh?
No comment.
Oh.
Let's just say that the sleigh now is different.
Okay.
It was a specific color. Now it's a different color because we had to have imported fabric come in.
Imported. Oh, yes. My gosh. Well, and you're positive that it was not mine. That it was the X-Lax?
That was your Freudian slip, I'm sure. Not yours.
Yeah. Well, I would say I apologize for telling all the children to do that, but if I'm not sorry, do I still get presents?
Oh, you'll have a present. It'll be a lump of something.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure. This is awkward because I really, I was really banking on never having to own this and just letting Santa poop himself. But, Santa, since you're here, and I guess we're not doing the top 10. Sorry, kids. But I have you might have noticed I'm recording. And you, it took you figured it out.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I have some questions since you're here. We might as well. That I ask everybody who is on Privy. And so whether or not you consent, as you know, I'm pushing for you just have to take what I give you anyway. So
I will power through.
That's what Mrs. Claus said.
How did you know?
So the first Santa, I'm curious, what type of toilet paper do you or you and Mrs. Claus use at the North Pole?
The same as everybody else uses. Charmin, the only chain. Charmin. That's how we pronounce it.
Charmin.
This is why. This is why when you were 3, I didn't get you the toy that you asked for. Okay? The little Tommy figure that you were wanting.
Tommy the Turbo Trank?
Tabo the Turbo Trank. Tank, not trank. What was that? That was a
You're
slip.
right. Maybe I asked
Drink.
for the wrong one.
Maybe you did because you couldn't pronounce it right.
Dang it!
That's probably
why.
why.
I knew Santa checked my spelling. I knew you
Always. I do. I always do.
were. You hear that,
Gotta be
kids?
perfect.
Pay attention in school. Stay in school. So the big beautiful bears, do they?
I see you seem distraught by my toilet paper choice.
I just think.
What is wrong with Char?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with Charmin. I think it's very high end, but
Oh, you're saying I'm too uppity. I see. Okay.
I was just like, I was wondering if there was enough snow at the North Pole where you wouldn't even need it, but I think we've kind of resolved that.
Yeah, no, there's lots of snow up there, but it doesn't feel so hot, you could say. It's a little cold,
A little icy.
a little icy. I've never really enjoyed the icy bung.
Okay, hey, that's fair. And it sounds like Mrs. Claus doesn't either. So,
Definitely not.
I'm gonna
I've
involve
tried.
I'm gonna involve your wife as often as I can. Do you and Mrs. Claus fold it over or under? You can interpret this however you want.
There's only one way. It always goes over.
It okay.
Always.
So if
Always flows over. There's no other way to do it. Over.
I think the trend
Under,
on this one.
you're not very smart.
Well, now
Over.
The real question is if somebody's putting it under. Let's say that there was a person on this planet who was putting it under. That's what.
They're obviously on the naughty list.
Oh, okay. But
Just-
like, is that like a deal breaker? Or like, is that like?
Of course it's a deal breaker.
Or is that like-
Yes.
like
I will
so
change
many-
it. You don't know how many bathrooms I've been in, and I've changed the toilet paper roll because of this incident this year that you've given me.
Because you had to use a lot of toilet paper.
I had to use a lot of toilet paper,
Well,
and
when-
not everybody subscribes to Charmin,
That's true.
which is unfortunate for me and my
Are-
bleeding. I'll leave it there. Never mind.
Are we talking about red bag Charmin or blue bag Charmin?
They're the same.
No, but red bag's like thicker and blue bag is softer.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
Okay, the big beautiful bears.
The big, beautiful bears.
Santa, when you shower yourself, do you use bar soap or liquid soap?
Bar soap all day.
You're a bar.
Bar soap.
Of course.
And a loofah. It lasts longer.
What's
Duh.
the loofah made out of in the North Pole? Is it just like a loofah like everybody else has?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do you ever
And pine cones.
Uh,
That's how I get rid of some of the excessive skin
Okay.
flakes.
Santa's skin suit.
Skin
have-
suit.
Do you, Santa? Do you ever carve messages in the bar soap for Mrs. Claus or any of the elves?
I carve certain rocket ships.
Oh,
Sometimes.
yes. Do the rocket ships have Mickey Mouse ears?
Yes, they
I
do.
see. And is that
An
for
exhaust launch to
Yes.
see, you know.
But the exhaust is coming out of the end. Right.
Yeah.
Is that for Mrs. Claus or the elves?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, if you're one of Santa's elves and you're listening, and you need help, Privycast@gmail.com. Santa, what scent of soap do you use? What scent is that bar of soap?
That scent is cedar. One of my
Cedar.
favorite smells. You know, like that pencil shaving smell.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Wood.
I like that. Wood.
Fresh wood.
Fresh wood.
I was curious if if you ever rocked like a peppermint, bar soap, or maybe even like
you would think that I would. I don't.
Right.
I mean, I like peppermint to freshen my breath when I'm talking with people. Like
Right.
right now, I wish I had one. But,
Right.
I mean, I'm sure my breath is not. So,
I mean, if I tell you no, do I get on the nice list?
no. But it might get you closer. I
Well-
might move you one tick closer.
How
I'll
many
think about
ticks
it.
am I away after last year? That's the real question.
Enough.
So, okay.
Always keep you guessing.
Yeah. Santa, how do you feel about baths? Are you a fan of baths?
I love baths.
You
They're
ever
my
take a-
favorite.
Go for it.
I love them. I just love getting in a tub of water and feeling the water cascade
Yeah.
over my whole body. And I especially love it when the elves come in and help.
I was just going to ask about the elves.
I can't
also-
wash my back. Who else is going to do it? Miss Claus, obviously, she's not willing to help me in a lot of areas. But again, our elves definitely come in and help me. reach areas that I can't reach.
Have you ever taken a bath with a reindeer?
With a reindeer?
Yeah.
Have I ever taken a bath? I mean, who's all listening to this?
From what I can tell, it's mostly guys between the ages of 18 and 30 who are various degrees of in a relationship with a woman, or not at all.
Or not at all. Okay. Then yes, of course I have. Very much so.
So good. Which reindeer? It wasn't Rudolph.
He was one time, but we'll save that for another time.
Right.
It was Dasher is the one I like to hang out with.
Dasher's
Dasher's
a good hang.
Yeah, he's good. It's not anything weird. I mean, we just get into a bath together, taking a bath. Two dudes taking a bath. What's wrong with that? I mean, a dude and a reindeer, whatever. It's not like
it's fine.
It's no big deal.
And the elves are there attending you, so it's like
yes. So there's lots of eyes, chaperones.
Like
so there's nothing
perfect
nefarious going on there. Big word, I know. I'm sorry for you, little 18 to 30 year olds.
I know. Who spelled Tommy the something trunk wrong. So Santa, see, you remembered it better than I do. I didn't even know what I wanted. Do you have any bathroom pet peeves? Things that, Mrs. Claus or one of the elves do that just grind your gears.
That grind my gears. The things that really grind my gears. Obviously, the first one is when you don't put the toilet paper going the correct way.
Oh yeah, we're back on this.
The other thing, I think I've trained them well enough, my wife and the elves, to be able to put it the right way. And when they don't, we talk about it, and I'll lay the smack down if I have to. Okay.
Oh shoot.
So, yeah, I will. The other thing is that I don't like is why can't I leave the toilet seat up?
Yeah.
Why? Why can't I? Why do I have to put it down? Let's think about this for a second. My
Mrs.
wife,
Claus, if you're listening,
should put up the toilet seat for me, right? Because how many times a day do I actually go into the bathroom as compared to her? Right? She always sits down. It's always down. So when she's done, she should lift the toilet seat for me.
Right. Mrs. Claus.
Am I wrong? I mean, honestly,
Santa,
come on, guys.
Santa, do you have the magical capabilities of making the toilet go up on its own? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not trying to make you the victim, but or make Mrs. Claus the victim. But I'm just curious if you have the magical capabilities of that.
Only once a year.
Oh, fair enough.
Only once a year.
Ah, man. Well, Mrs. Claus, I'm sorry. So any other pet peeves?
When someone pees on the floor, especially the elves. Yeah. We've got those little step stools, so when you're stepping in pee, obviously that's not cool.
Yeah.
So especially when it's cold, nobody likes stepping in that.
Oh yeah, that's no good.
So,
Santa, do you ever get out to eat? Like, are you ever able to go out to like a restaurant?
Yeah.
Do they have restaurants? Yeah. I mean, you have a sleigh, you can fly
we
places,
do.
I guess.
Yes, we can. We can fly places.
But like, what's your Mrs. Claus like go-to restaurant?
Go-to restaurant has to be Applebee's. Applebee's.
Yep,
Applebee's.
What do you get when you go to Applebee's, Santa?
The 2 for $20 always. It's just such a good deal.
Santa's on the 2 for $20. He's hard in the paint. He's hard in. Do you ever? Does Applebee's ever do you dirty? Like just foul up the bathroom situation after?
Every time. Every time. It's also the place I hate the most. Because,
yeah,
it's the 2 for $20, so, and it's Applebee's, and so you can eat something there one day and it'll be all right, and you're not gonna duke eat yourself or feel like you have to right after you eat. But sometimes it just is. It's there.
Are we confident that you didn't have Applebee's on Christmas Eve last year?
Very. Yes. I was out delivering toys. It's a pretty big world.
This is damning evidence.
Yes. And the fact that I ate cookies and I almost instantaneously, I don't know how much you decided to put into them. I mean, your kids, quote.
I just told all listeners to catch,
yeah.
I said if you wanted to
catch
Santa.
If you could.
Well, okay, so is Applebee's is that the restaurant that messes you up the worst then?
Yes.
Okay. Really does you foul.
So that tells you how often we go.
Yeah.
Not very
often. Once a year.
Yeah. Usually just before, but not this last year.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you and Mrs. Claus often do things just but once a year?
No, we go out all the time. Out in the North Pole. There's lots to do up there.
Right.
Getting ready for next year, right? Christmas toys, all
Right.
of that. Duh.
Yeah. That's interesting to me.
And I got to manage elves. I mean, that's my job.
It sounds like the elves have some specific jobs too, but
Yes, they do.
So
They're my personal elves.
yeah, they sure are. Santa, have you ever had one of your personal elves help you take a dark shower?
A dark shower? What's a dark shower?
I think it's better not to explain it. But
Is that where I take a shower in the dark?
sure.
Sure, that doesn't leave me feeling good. I'll tell you that. Dark shower. Is that like a I think I know what you mean by dark shower now. I think it just is coming to me. Is that where someone like poops on me?
Oh gosh.
Like
Not
shoots
quite.
out
But
the bung. Nope.
But
Nope.
we're
Okay.
here. Have if that was the case, have you?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I know that's an American
Dude,
thing. You're
I was gonna
American, so
I was gonna say, do you have the Fifth Amendment in the North Pole?
not in the North Pole, but I know you do. So
You plead the Fifth.
I
In
plead
my
the
country.
fifth in your country.
Wow. Have you ever?
What me
have
and
you
Mrs. Claus do in secret.
Okay, very good. Have you ever eaten an orange in the shower as if it was an apple?
No.
Would you?
No.
No further questions. Santa, have you ever... And then I proceed to ask you another question. Santa, have you ever performed a waffle stomp?
A waffle stomp. No. What's a waffle stomp?
Well, so traditionally
What do
a
you
waffle...
mean by waffle? What's a waffle? Like as in the food waffle? Like a Belgian waffle?
Oh, no, there is not that... We could only hope it would be. So, a waffle
We're not
stomp...
talking about blue waffle.
No, that we are not doing
Okay,
that.
all right.
Santa.
Next question.
The waffle stomp is when you're in the shower and the urge to purge hits too much.
Well, yeah, of course I've done that. Absolutely. I've done it
then-
at my high school.
Wait, Santa, where did you go to high school?
South Albany High School. And I may or may not have been the only one who's done the waffle stomp there.
Oh.
Hey,
in the locker room.
when the urge is there, you gotta go. And where else are you gonna do it? You gotta stomp it through the grate. Yes. Yes, I have.
Oh.
At least you're in the shower.
Were you delivering toys to South Albany the night that you waffle
Oh, this was
stomped?
just before I was an apprentice. So I had to go to school.
This was before-
my secret identity before.
Oh. This was before you murdered the previous Santa to become Santa.
Of course, yes.
Got it. Because and if I've learned anything from Tim Allen, that's how this happens.
Yes.
How do you feel about Tim Allen sharing that secret with everybody?
Well, I mean,
Are you more mad at Tim Allen for sharing that secret, or more mad at me for telling or supposedly telling kids to give you X-Lax?
X-Lax right now for sure.
Okay.
Because that's still fresh in my mind.
Yeah, it was fresh.
Although you
somewhere
did bring
else.
that up, so you're bringing up all these old wounds, which you
Yeah.
know makes me feel
Trauma.
Yeah.
I'm not being trauma informed.
Definitely not. I need a teddy bear to hug right now, please.
Have some elf make you one.
I should have.
Santa, so you've performed the waffle stomp, but would you ever perform the toss? This is an act where you poop into your hand and then toss it outside into the toilet.
Yes.
You would do this act.
I have.
Okay, no further
Have
questions. No further questions. I do have actually one. No. If
No,
a
go for
person-
it. Do it.
if-
Come on.
if
You know
a-
it's there. Everybody wants to know. All inquiring minds want to know. Do it.
I think all the acquiring minds are going to find out something later anyway. Have you... If somebody performed a waffle stomp or a toss, would that put them on the naughty list that year?
Not in and of itself.
Okay.
What kind of depends on the circumstances of the toss
Perfect.
/ waffle stomp.
So if they don't get all the stomp down the drain, / if they toss and miss, we're talking naughty list then?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, very much so.
You hear that, kids? Feel free to stomp one down.
And or upper deckers. Those are just as acceptable. So don't forget to do the upper decker. No, those, yeah. No, you can do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Those are, well, let me think about it. If it's at your mom's house, don't do it.
Right.
But if it's, that would put you on the naughty list for sure if you did it at your parents' house or your grandparents' house. Because, they don't know.
Right.
They can't clean that.
Right.
They're not going to want to touch that.
But like if you're at your brother's place.
But if I'm at my brother's place, that's fair game.
Yeah. If
fair
you
game.
don't
and
do
that's
it,
okay. And if you don't do it, then
you're on the naughty list.
Yes.
Perfect.
And here's the other thing.
Yes.
If you have a friend who has a cat and they keep that litter box in the bathroom,
say more.
If you do not put a log in that litter box,
bless up.
Yeah, you need to do that now.
Santa, how do you have?
I may or may not have done that a couple of times to a couple of the children who've been on naughty lists.
Okay.
They, yes.
Well, I don't have a cat, so
yes, I know,
but
I am aware.
I do have a follow-up question that's totally unrelated to the previous comment. But Santa, do you have a cat?
No.
Does Mrs. Claus have a cat?
No.
Is there a cat at the North Pole that
Yes.
poops in a litter box? Have you, Santa? Have you ever hit up a litter box?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, because of the cat, it purred. Santa, which one of the reindeer have the biggest droppings?
Well, we know it's not Dasher,
Right.
Because just little dashes here and there. Prancer, he like hops when he does it.
He's real fruity about it.
He's way more fruity. It just seems a little.
So are we? I feel like this is Rudolph's like claim to fame. Like he's.
Well, you would think that, but Comet actually is the one.
Oh yeah.
It comes out of him like hot snakes. So I mean, just big, giant, hot snakes.
Oh, thick, hot snakes.
Yeah, Comet.
Oh,
that's
golly.
Sometimes it makes you want to vomit.
Comet, the vomit comet.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I already know the answer to this question, but for the sake of, you're here.
Yeah.
I've trapped you. It's all part of my elaborate ruse.
Yes.
Do you ever make the elves clean the toilets at the North Pole?
Always. Especially after this last year. We had to replace 3 toilets. And counting. So
and counting
because I mean it's caused this whole issue. I don't know if you've known, but I had to go to the doctor and get some stuff checked out.
Oh, why didn't you just have Mrs. Claus check it out?
Well, because Mrs. Claus has a limited knowledge on Santa's belly and what goes on inside of there. She feeds him cookies and all these really good things, which sometimes I definitely don't eat. But she tries her best.
How do you know that Mrs. Claus didn't X-lax you?
Well, because she loves me first of all, and I haven't done anything to excuse my language, piss her off.
Because of
that I know of at this point. Except for maybe when this podcast comes out, and then we might have a different story.
Woof. So Santa, what is your favorite? So we talked a lot about cookies. What is your favorite snack to get from little kids on Christmas?
Fudge. I love the fudge. With walnuts.
With walnuts?
I'm a walnut fudge guy. Yes, fudge.
Santa.
What? It is what it is.
So
I love it. I love the walnuts. They're tasty.
Santa, if you had to give me top 3 favorite Christmas desserts.
Ooh.
Obviously, fudge is on there now.
Fudge is on there. Number 1 for me, personally. Okay.
Perfect.
Number 2.
With walnuts, though.
With walnuts. It's got to have walnuts for me. Okay.
It's just not right.
I know. That's how you feel. That's okay. You can have that differing opinion.
How do you know, though?
Because
how do you know that's how I feel?
Well, obviously, how you're reacting to me right now.
That's fair.
Okay,
that's fair.
First
that's
of
fair.
all,
that's fair.
So my second would be Kahlua pie. I love a boozy pie.
It's
so good.
Santa's got a brand new bag.
Yeah, I do. That helps me. Sometimes you need a little nip just to keep yourself warm. And a Kahlua pie will help you with that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's number 2. Pun intended.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it? We could. Yep.
Poop joke. Also, can I do a Santa joke? I mean,
Sure.
I guess I don't know.
You're Santa.
That's true. I guess I could. I don't actually have one. I just was saying like dad joke because but Santa.
It's fine.
Do you guys
It's
get
all
it?
good.
Does everybody get it?
I think everybody thought it was funny.
I'm sure they're still laughing right now. I can tell. And if you're not, you're on the naughty list.
So you frig off.
Get to laughing.
So number 3 on this snack list.
Number 3 on the snack list.
Yes.
Tillamook pepperoni, hands down favorite
Christmas snack.
Favorite Christmas snack, Tillamook pepperoni.
Tillamook pepperoni.
It fuels you. Gets the little bit of fat, little bit of protein, little bit of salt, and ironically, Rudolph loves them.
That's interesting.
It is. I don't know why he decided to start eating Tillamook pepperoni, but he does.
Do you think
he loves it?
Do you think it's a bad idea to feed him that though?
I'm wondering if that's what keeps his nose glowing red. I don't know.
Oh, I bet that
it's not the booze like you would think, right?
Say,
it's not the booze. It's not the Kahlua pie at all. You would think that, but no, that's not what does it.
Wow. Well, you know what, Santa? I really appreciate you dropping in here and completely forgiving me for what I did to you last year.
I don't know if I said that, but okay.
I'm sure that you are tired from last night's deliveries and would love to go home to Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
Right,
I
Mrs.
love
Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus, say yes. But
yes. That was
let the record show that was Santa pretending to be Mrs. Claus. Well, Santa, I'm going to close out the show. This is the awkward part where it looks like I'm a dog pooping in the backyard.
Kind of do look like that. That's weird.
Yeah. That's the one fortunate part about this not being a video podcast is nobody has to see the unfortunate fact that we are in a bathroom, or what I look like. So, that's
ditto to that on me.
No, Santa, the beard's looking real strong this year. I didn't even notice that you had diarrhea all year. But this has been another episode.
But you smelled it, I'm sure.
Sweet Lord. This has been another episode of Privy. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, you can follow us on social media. We're at Privycast anywhere you're on social media. Send us an email, privycast@gmail.com.
Ho, ho, ho.
Santa's getting pretty rowdy as he leaves. Bye, Santa.
Bye.
Our music is from Poddington Bear and Kevin MacLeod. Thanks, Poddington and Kevin. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.